What is up, everybody? Today we have begun. I would say our broadcast day because that technically means we've been broadcasting live, but we begin our pre-recorded casting. And if you're listening to this, that means you have came to the right place. Welcome to the Efficient Podcast. This is our first go around, so we just wanted to kind of give everybody the two faces that will be hosting this awesome event going forward. Myself and Miss Raven. Now, for those who don't know me, I go by BlaqVillain. Why do you choose BlaqVillain? They say. Well, let's see. The villain is always the guy that wants to take over the world, and I'm black. There you go. So that's there you go.
What an explanation.
That's the best explanation I can give you. And well, there's more than just that. That's an old saying that everybody wants to be the hero, but everybody can relate to the villain. Yeah. So it was kind of a little bit of that mixed with that. And also, for those in pop culture reference, there was an episode of American Dad called BlaqVillain, where the principal tried to just take over the world by melting the polar caps with nothing but a blow dryer.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go with it. But and I decided to go the French way of saying black with the Q because I want to be unique about it. That way if you Google me, you'll find me, and this is true. And the beautiful young lady beneath my screen or aside your screen if you're watching, can you please introduce yourself, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Raven-esque. I'll tell you the story of that in a little bit. But I am just a humble variety streamer. I love video games. I love anything pop culture. So I guess I'm in the right place. I got my stream name mainly because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So
Ravenclaw.
I had to go with my Harry Potter house. And so technically I can't use the name Ravenclaw.
Of course, right.
So I took the Raven out of Ravenclaw. Mm-hmm. And since my personality is a lot like a raven, I decided, I'm pretty Raven-esque. I act like a raven a little bit. And so I kind of just went with it, and that's how I got my name.
Okay, so there's no Edgar Allan Poe to this at all?
No. So as much as I love Edgar Allan Poe, none of that, no.
Okay, there's no Edgar Allan Poe. We're not going to be like seeing you at a corner somewhere, like with a knife. Go with the Raven, nevermore. It's not.
Yeah, no. I don't trust myself with knives. So
that was actually a show, pop culture reference. That was actually a show called The Following. Do you remember that show? It lasted 3 seasons, and it came on Fox 4 here in Dallas, which Fox channel, wherever you located it. Where are you located anyway, Raven?
I am in the West, or almost West Coast. I'm near California, about 2 states over.
Okay, awesome beings. Well, like Easy, or we call him Eric, or like Kenny, which way we want to call him. We both are in the same vicinity in Dallas, Texas. Well, he's a little bit further in the city than I am. I'm actually in the outskirts of the country side. But there was a show on Fox called The Following, and it starred Kevin Bacon. If you don't know who that is,
I do.
And you gotta check it out because I think it's on Netflix now. But it was really good, and the reason why I say that was because you probably have seen this guy in a lot of movies. His name is James Portfoy. He's a British actor. He's been like in a lot of TV shows. He played Mark Anthony in the show Rome on HBO, and he's done like a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he's pretty much a professor at a college who was killing people. Oh. And his favorite author was Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. That makes sense.
He ended up having it's called The Following because he has a cult. He ends up getting a cult of followers who follows him. And actually, I forget her name, but the woman who plays Queen Andromeda, if I'm saying it right, is Queen Hippolyta on Wonder Woman's mom. Mm-hmm. She was like his girlfriend / mistress on the show, and she was one of his followers.
There
So
you
when
go.
so it was a pretty good show though. It was really good. If you ever got time to check it out. But I have a question. And most a gamer girl is one of those. I'm gonna say I can't say unicorn anymore because there are a lot of gamer girls now. There used to be like to find one girl or one woman who is a gamer or collector of pop culture references. That was like find that was a unicorn. That was like oh damn, where you come from? It was very, very hard to find. Now you know they're out there. There are gamer girls everywhere, and it doesn't matter how old you are, what race you are. They're there now, and
Yep.
I ask you that question. I say that because what got you, Miss Raven? What got you into gaming?
Okay, well, gaming started way back when I was like 6 or 7. When I was allowed to touch a Game Boy, I was touching it. I was playing with it,
Mhm.
and I was I was spending a lot of time on it. So much so my parents didn't want to get me games, or allow me to play them just because I was spending a lot of time on them. But it's something that to me gives me a break from reality when I don't want to be in it. And
Right.
so it's kind of that, I guess it's the escape is not the right word, but it kind of is at the same point, because it's more of like a way to forget yourself for a while and to just immerse yourself into this world that you have decided to play.
Right.
And so it was something that's what intrigued me the most. Like I was there when Pokemon Red and Pokemon
Yes.
Yellow came
Yes.
out, all of
Yes.
those little
Okay.
all those ones. I was
Now
there.
it's funny you say that, and you say how old were you? You said you were 6 at the time. Because I remember working at a shitty place called GameStop, and I just want to stop there. I was like I was like 18 working at GameStop, and I remember when the God, what was it called, the Gold Edition or something like that? But it was like on Game Boy Advance. This is Game Boy Advanced just came out, and that was like the popular game to get on it. And I mean, customers would like line up in droves just to get it. And I watched Pokemon growing up because Pokemon didn't come out till I got in high school. And I was like going in, I remember it came out like that summer of me going into my freshman year in high school. So it was like, I ain't watch no bullshit ass Pokemon. But I did I did watch Pokemon, and I remember I went to the movie to go see the movie, the first film that came out. I cried when Pikachu was trying to bring Ash back to life when he was stoned because it's like, damn, because I see Pikachu try so hard to bring him back. It was like, oh shit, this is real. But yeah.
Can't resist the
So
Pikachu tears. Come on, man.
right. So was Pokemon that first taste of pretty much that rabbit hole for you, Alice, that got you down to the wonderland of video games?
Oh heck yeah. Pokemon and Digimon. That's what did it for
Digimon.
me.
See, and there we go. That's that bullshit. And I'm gonna say, yes, we can cuss on this podcast. That's it. And I'll say that's that bullshit because this is why. Your generation had Pokemon. My generation, we had Ninja Turtles, and we just really got into Power Rangers. Like Power Rangers, literally, like the Ninja Turtles wasn't coming on anymore. Transformers has been done for quite some time now. So what's that next big fad for people my age at that back in the 90s? And it was Power Rangers. And
Yep.
it was Power Rangers. And I say that because when you got like something like Power Rangers, here comes a knockoff. And I say that because it was a show called VR Troopers. That was like the shittiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was like, and they had a talking dog named Jib. It was like the most right. It was like the most craziest thing ever. Then they also had another show called Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I collected those toys because to me those toys are better than Power Rangers toys. And I say because the Superhuman Samurai guy was like tall when you bought his actual statue was like tall, but then you get like the things that make up the robot itself. Those parts can come apart and make armor on the actual guy. So it was like, okay, this is like a 2-in-1. So not only do these toys connect to make one big ass, it was like a jet and a tank and some other kind of thing. I forgot what it was. But these three toys connect to become one robot by itself. But if you take them apart and separate them, it becomes armor on the other guy. That's a fucking good deal. So
Oh yeah.
but the show was bullshit. The show was nothing but a Power Rangers ripoff. So you bringing up Digimon, I was like, see, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh. I honestly believe that Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon was nothing but a Pokemon ripoff.
Hey, you know what? It was the only show, that and Pokemon were the only shows I got to watch when I was little. Them and there's so many shows I couldn't watch because my parents were like, that's a bad influence. You cannot watch that. And so there were only some things that I could watch. Like there was a lot of shows I was not able to watch, but I know for a fact that Pokemon was okay, and so was Digimon. And so those are the only ones we could watch. And so we sat there every Saturday morning. We get there, we'd sit in front of that TV and watch that show because that's the only time we got to do so.
It's like people like I say that my generation had the good shows because I was born in '82. So during that time, we had Ninja Turtles, we had G.I. Joe, we had Power Rangers, we had Pokemon towards the end. There was like shows on the X-Men. Oh my God, that was like the show that everybody watched. It was the X-Men show with the yellow Wolverine suit, and that's what got the good one, exactly, the good one. It was that and Spider-Man, and I'm missing one more. Now one of them I watched that was mainly for adults, but I watched it anyway because my grandmother was like, "You can watch it, I don't care." It was called Eon Flux. You probably never heard of it, have you?
I have.
You have? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Eon Flux there was used to be a thing called on MTV late night, and they would show Eon Flux, and it was like this is like the most trippiest cyberpunk type stuff I've ever seen in my life. But it is so fucking awesome.
Yes, it is.
It was Eon Flux, and then there was a show that came on Saturdays that only lasted one season, unfortunately. It was called Phantom 2047, or it was something like that. But it was another kind of a cyberpunk superhero type show that didn't last very long. But yeah, man, I missed those. Oh, forgot Spawn, the original Spawn cartoon that was on HBO. That was voiced by Keith David. I don't know if you know who that actor is, but he's done so many different voices. And he's like, if you ever watch an Army commercial, that's him.
Oh yeah,
he does all the Army voice commercials, and he's on like a lot of, I would say, black movies, but he's most memorable for being the voice for Spawn on HBO. In fact, you play Mortal Kombat 11, that's him. He's playing. They bought him back to reprise that role as Spawn.
That's awesome.
But Keith David is one of those guys like, oh, really? Because you like see him in the movies that we saw him in, he was selling dope or shooting somebody. It's a movie called Dead Presidents where he, was robbing a bank. Yo. So if you watch Dead Presidents, where they, in the trash can with the guns, the getaway driver, that's Spawn. That's Keith David. And he played Spawn. He also played Goliath in the Gargoyles Disney show. But he's done like a lot of voice acting, man. It's a lot, to say the least. It's a lot to say the least. So, just going back on what you said, so you had Digimon and you had Pokemon. So, Pokemon was that rabbit hole that you went down. But since you've been a gamer, what can you say is your top 5 video games of all time that you think are your top 5?
Oh, geez. I just did videos on my social media for these. Now it's time to remember these. Number Number 5 has got it. I'm gonna go from 5 to 1 because 1's the best. But
All right.
five has got to be, if I remember correctly, Destiny 2. The Destiny series in general,
Really?
because not everyone likes it. Trust me. No,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that hate it.
I was disappointed with it, actually. I love the first one, but I got burnt out on the second one.
The second one's a lot of a grind. It's not everyone's favorite. But I say that one just because of the storyline. I'm huge into like sci-fi and I love that kind of aesthetic. And so when I first started playing it, I'm like, this is fun. Like I actually like this. And so that kind of sent me tumbling down that hole, and I haven't gotten out since. So that one's my number 5. My number 4 has got to be, and I know you're probably gonna roll your eyes at this one, Animal Crossing.
No, I'm not gonna even judge you for that because there's a lot, and I'll say this now, and I'm not being a chauvinist. There are a lot of women who like Animal Crossing. I've never met a dude who liked it. I've only met women who liked it. Continue.
Sounds good. Animal Crossing, well, my favorite one was the new one that came out, New Horizons. But that's only because 1, it came out on the Switch, and that's the only thing I had. And 2, it was one of those games where you, like I said, you can immerse yourself, you can just kind of relax and kind of chill and get your mind off things. And it came out at the perfect time too. Like during the pandemic, like that was everyone was buying it, everyone was playing it because they were all stuck inside.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, because it was just there and it was there to help you relax and to help you kind of just chill and forget everything.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
Number 3, this has nothing against any of the Pokemon series, but I have to say my third favorite has got to be Sword and Shield. I love all the other games, like those are definitely the better of the games, but these ones mainly because it has more things to do. The older games didn't have these things that you could do. So you can like walk with your Pokemon, except for yellow version. You could walk with your Pokemon. You can, battle each other. You can trade Pokemon across the world. It has so many different features, and it's so good. And the graphics, I could rave all day about graphics. The graphics are great.
Quick side question.
Yes.
2 quick side questions, actually. Well, first and foremost, the only time I even played a Pokemon game is when I played one of the Pokemon characters on Smash Brothers. That was like the only time I ever played, because I used to kick the shots like with Mewtwo. That was my favorite character. Mewtwo and Pikachu are my favorite characters on the Smash Brothers series. But the question I wanted to ask you, did you get the other Pokemon game, the one that was making people get ran over by cars all the time? Like they would go search for Pokemon and use their cell phones to find them, and
Pokemon Go?
Go, yeah, and get into like battles with random strangers, and then somebody got stabbed one time.
Bro, you have no idea. Like literally, if you could.
Oh wow! See,
I have it on my screen right now. Like I gotta pull it up. Like it's right there in the corner.
Wow!
I still have it.
I didn't want to get. I was like, it was a cool concept. It was really a smart concept before COVID. It was a very smart concept. Well, you start hearing like all those jokes and memes and actual events that were happening to people, like somebody got stabbed because he asked one guy, "You want to battle?" And he was like, he thought he was like, and he wanted to like fight for real. So he stabbed the guy. Then there was like one kid that got ran over by a car because the person Pokemon was across the street. It was like some off the wall stuff that was people were doing behind that game.
Yeah.
So please carry on.
They had to start putting like disclaimers in the game saying, pay attention to where you're walking.
Right.
Don't go into shady places if you think there's going to be a shady person there. Like,
the
fact they had to put that in that game in general
like,
is
man, you don't
me,
understand. But I found a legendary Raichu at this crack house over here. So saying.
Oh well, one of the upsides of Pokemon Go though is the rate of shinies that show up. is much, much higher than in like the actual games, because I could spend hours on that thing trying to catch, say, a shiny Pikachu. But then you go into Pokemon Go and you can encounter at least 30 Pikachu, and out of those 30 Pikachu, you're bound to find at least 1 or 2 of them. And so the rate of shinies showing up is much higher in Pokemon Go than it is on any of those games. So that's how I've gotten a majority of my shiny Pokemon in general. But anyways, but now with the Pokemon Shield and Sword, there's another reason why I love it, is because you can hook it up to your Pokemon Go and you can transfer your Pokemon from Pokemon Go over to your Pokemon Shield. So
really?
So if you have like a legendary on Pokemon Go that you don't have on your Pokemon Shield, you can just transfer it right over and it just goes right on, as long as it's in your Pokedex and it's not illegal.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Stop. Okay, now you got me there. So, what is illegal on Pokemon? Like, what do you mean illegal? Like, they got illegal Pokemon or something that they shouldn't be doing, or
people? Okay, so there's this story a long time ago with news and everything of when Pokemon Sword and Shield first came out, is that there were people hacking or inputting Pokemon data into the game. So they were going in and changing the game code to include certain Pokemon. A few of them I heard was the starters for Alola. So like you couldn't have Rowlet there, you couldn't have Litten, you couldn't have Popplio. All of those starters were not in the Pokedex, but you could transfer them over and they would still appear in game.
So people were actually pretty much hacking
Pokemon into the game.
Yeah. See, there's so too much time on their hands. I'm just going.
Someone has no life.
You have no life if you are literally hacking Pokemon into a game just to make your rank or go up. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but Nintendo saw that and they're like, yeah, we don't like that. And so anyone who was caught online that had one of these hacked Pokemon, their account was banned.
Really?
So Nintendo was like, yeah, we don't like that. So if you have a hacked Pokemon, you're done, dude. Sorry. So a lot of people got hacked Pokemon, went online with it, and some of them got banned. So I got some of those hacked Pokemon. Let's just say I never went online until I knew that these Pokemon would actually show up in the Pokedex and you could actually have them without being banned. And so I have them in my Pokedex still, and I have them in my Pokebox sitting there. But you know, I don't go online with them just in case. But they do show up in the Pokedex now, I believe. So I think they're okay now. But back like as the game came out, they were hacked. You couldn't use them at all. So
what's next on your list?
I'm sorry.
Well, I said, what's next on your list of video games?
Oh yes, number 2. See, this is where my brain starts not remembering anything. I could easily tell my number 1, but I don't want to go there yet. Because that game I could rave all day about. Holy crap, there's my social media. We're going to turn that down. Because my social media likes to get rowdy. Let's see here. No, there we go. Because I did a whole video series on this, man, and I could talk about it all day. If it'll load. Let's go down here. It's one of my older videos. But yeah, those games were just the bomb. Especially during the pandemic, it was so nice to have them around. Oh, now I remember. So my second choice is the collection of BioShock. And there's a
yes.
There is a reason for this. BioShock 1, masterpiece of a game. Loved this game.
It was. But
for its time, it was way good.
No, it's still good now.
It's very good. right now.
I hate myself because would you consider BioShock a survival horror game? Would you consider? I don't consider it a survival horror game. Do you?
I mean, it's kind of it's in that genre, but it kind of doesn't really fit in that genre. It's more of like a horror game, like a horror jump scare. I don't think it was put in the correct category, so therefore not its discoverability kind of got dropped quite a bit.
So you would have put it like on the same category as Dead Space or Resident Evil.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate myself, and I say that because I am so ass backwards when it comes to playing games sometimes. And I say that because I never beat Resident Evil 1. Never really played it. But I beat Resident Evil 2. Never played, I only played BioShock one time. Never played it again. But I beat BioShock 2. Never played Dead Space one time. Never played it again. But I beat Dead Space 2. I don't know how the hell I'm only beating the second installment of these games, but I am. So I decided that I'm going to actually go back and play BioShock 1 along with the other games I mentioned and beat those because I got them for free with the Xbox and the PlayStation Plus thing. They give out free games every month. And now I have all the BioShocks because of the collection, and I have all the Resident Evils. Not Resident Evil, sorry, all the Dead Spaces, and I also have Resident Evil 1 now.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, I can finally go back now and play these games again. So this is gonna be my first time actually playing BioShock seriously when I stream it. That's funny you mentioned that because I actually want to stream that. BioShock
is a great game. I love the kind of post-apocalyptic, like vintage kind of feel. It's unique to games. There's not a lot of games that have it. I mean, no. Like Fallout, I guess, is kind of one, but it's not as unique as, say, as BioShock, because BioShock has the first it's underwater, which you wouldn't think to build a city underwater. Secondly, it was a city built underwater in the 1930s,
30s? Yeah, it was 30s, yeah.
First of all, how do they get the technology for that?
Exactly. That's one thing I didn't understand about BioShock was that when I first saw the trailer back in the day, because remember, from my age again, Xbox 360, that's what I got it on. Oh, so the second one on anyway. And I remember playing it, I was like, wait a minute. So the technology is the 30s. Wait a minute. Hell. You know, it was like one of those. Don't even get you saw Infinite. I haven't even tried Infinite yet. I'm like waiting on that one. Oh yeah, it was like just the thought of how in the crap did they put that down there in the first place? Exactly. Kind of draws you in, so you want to go in and like explore it and like figure out like how in the world did they do this? And then you start getting attacked by mutants called splicers. Yeah. And then on top of that, you get big daddies that come at you sometimes. Yeah, or the big sister, depending on playing part too. Yeah. Yeah. Big sisters are scarier than big daddies, trust me. They are. But when you can take control of one, that's awesome. Take control of one though. Yeah. But just playing those games, I mainly played those games. I love those games, but I mainly play those games because of the music. And that music, what was the 40s, 50s music? That stuff, that old time feel. Exactly. It's like this, what is it? What do you call them? The record players, like scratch sounds that you get. Wait a minute. It's funny you say that because every time I think about BioShock, my mind goes to South Park, and this is why. You watch South Park? I did not watch. That was one of the shows I was not allowed to watch. Okay. There's an episode of South Park called Dance Off where they dance against these black kids from the hood. They're like dancing, you know, like Step Up or whatever. And Butters, one of the characters, he dances to a song called I Got Something in my Pocket for You. Which sounds like a pedophile song. I swear to God, when you listen to it, it's like, I got something in my pocket today. And every time I hear that song, I think of BioShock. It's like, it sounds like something you hear on BioShock, like, I got something in my pocket. Want to see what it is? And it's like got this little scratchy sound behind it. And it reminded me so much of BioShock. I started episode. Carry on, please. Sorry.
BioShock's great. I love that game. Right now, I'm currently in the middle of streaming BioShock Infinite. I am not a huge fan of BioShock Infinite, only because a lot of people who have played the first and second games, to them it doesn't really make sense or coincide with anything in those two games. However, my friend, who is an avid BioShock fan, insists that if you are going to play BioShock, you want to play Infinite first, or
yes,
two first, and then Infinite, and then one, because
that's what I was told.
It kind of lines up that way. Yeah. And I'm like, then why did they release 1, 2, and then Infinite if it's supposed to be 2 first, and then Infinite, and then 1? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I was told the same thing. I was told to play Infinite first and then play BioShock 1 and 2.
Yes. So you want to play Infinite first. And I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. But now that I'm playing the games, you know, as they were released, it's starting to make more sense, because I get into more of the lore of the game, like the storytelling of the game. And so it's starting to make a bit more sense on why you would want to put Infinite first, because it's kind of like a pre-teller to what's going to happen in 1 and 2. However, I'm not going to go into details about that, just because we don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it.
Right. I have a guest in here with me, so hold on one second. Here.
Sounds good. Hey, cutie. Look at that.
Oh, he want a cheese stick in a minute.
He's adorable.
He's up now. He was under my desk sleep the whole time, by the way. But yeah, he's up now. But so BioShock is the whole BioShock series, or just the first one is your favorite?
The whole series, with very little of that love going to Infinite. So I like 1 and 2 a lot, but Infinite is just kind of lackluster when it comes to BioShock games. Anyway, number 1 on my list, this game is a diamond amongst everything.
Diamond in the rough.
Yes, diamond in the rough. But the creators who made this game knew what they were doing, and they did it very well. And so my favorite one out of all time, my top 1, is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Well, yes.
This game, I could rave all day about this game, but I'm just going to say these 3 things. First of all, the main character, beautiful redhead. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, fiery redhead.
She reminds the pop culture. I'm also a wrestling fan as well too.
Yes. And
there's a wrestler named Becky Lynch. And she looks just like her when I remember it was one wrestling match where she came out looking just like her. For I think I forgot, it was WrestleMania. It was one of her pay-per-views where she looked just like her from Horizon Zero Dawn. One of the reasons I got a PS5 was for Horizon Forbidden West, because I want to play it so bad
for that game. You know, when they said it was going to come out for the PS4 as well, it's supposed to be just a PS5 exclusive game. So I was halfway tempted to be like, okay, I'm going to get myself a PS5 just so that I can play that game.
Right. And
then my brother one day came to me and said, did you know that they're releasing it on PS4 as well? And I'm like, when did they decide this? And they're like, oh, it was just a few days ago. And they
made that decision because they realized, and it's funny you say that, and I know the story behind that. They said that because they realized that not everybody was getting a PS5 because they were limited supply. And the thing about Sony, or even with Xbox, when they make certain games, they've already coded it for the previous console. They're just debating on should they recode it for the next generation to get that money. Yes. So when they realize that, well, shoot, not everybody got a PS5, so let's go ahead and put it on PS4 too. And that's what happened to me with Spider-Man Miles Morales. I was literally about to go pick up Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS4. And then I got a phone call telling me that, hey man, I got a PS5 on hold for you here at the store. I'll be there in a minute. And that's how I ended up getting a PS5, because I had a friend of mine that works in a store I cannot name right now, and he had one on hold for me in the back. So I was like, but I was literally about to go pick up Spider-Man Miles Morales for my PS4, and he called me that same week. So I got your PS5 here. So I ended up getting a PS5, but that's what happened to Spider-Man. It was the same situation where it was like, hey, this is one of our flagship games, but we can't sell this console enough, so let's put it on the last gen console.
Yeah, but I adore that game. Like, the character, she's very, very, what's the word, relatable.
How so? You mind me asking? How so?
Not a lot of people think, but because her background's totally different, and like there's a lot of people that don't have the same background as her. But I think that her sarcasm, her personality is well placed. I believe that her personality was developed expertly, making her more unique than most female leads. I say that she's relatable in the fact that she can, that she is, in her personality wise, her sarcasm is relatable. Like if you were in that situation with her, would you have done the same thing? Oh yes, for sure. Like,
so, I mean, I mean to cut you off. I swear.
Oh no, you're fine.
Would you say that she's, as far as female protagonists?
Yes.
You would say that she's like one of the top ones, you think, or like better than Ellie from The Last of Us, or Jill from Resident Evil, or you put her like in that echelon of top lead women game characters, or
yeah, I'd say about the top 5. There's still some video game female protagonists that are higher than her. Obviously, because it's more like present day, it's more relatable in a world that's more realistic. But this world of Aloys is more, what if, and so it's something that could happen, and so technically it can be realistic, but it just hasn't happened yet. Like it's a future that could happen, but we don't know if it will, because it's just something that someone has theorized about.
Well, it really caught my attention, and this is another one of those games where I played it but I haven't beat it. So, and then I heard that it's going to be on the marketplace for free. So I was like, well, I guess I'll wait. That's the other game I'm going to be playing on my PS5. But that's when I first saw the story and played the game for the hour that I played it for. I was very intrigued because I was like, okay, this is different. I'm not running from a zombie. I'm not fighting the horde. This is something that's like, visually, the game is beautiful. I love playing it for the moment that I played it, because I was playing it at a friend's house on his PS4 Pro, and he had it on his gigantic 4K television, and it visually stunned me. It was like, damn, this looks nice. I didn't really want to play it. I was more mesmerized from the visual effects of the game. Then the story was second to me. But just looking at how they had these dinosaurs that time has forgotten, but has reimagined as these robots, and it was very different for me. I really enjoyed the moment that I played it, and I'm definitely ready to play it again, as well as Forbidden West.
Yes, I'm excited for Forbidden West. I'm very sad that they said it might not come out this year. But that's only because I do believe the one who was over, I think it was it was one of the producers of the game, passed away. And so now they have to reaccount for that, and they have to find someone else that will help finish that up. Because now, they were planning to release it this year, but because of that death, they kind of need to look back and be like, hey, we need to get someone on this so that we can release it next year.
Right.
And so that's unfortunate, but that's how the world works with COVID going around.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'm excited for Forbidden West. I saw that trailer and I'm just like, dude, I need that game. Like, that's not a want, that's a need.
Yes.
That's a need. But
go ahead, please.
the setting of the game and just the story that it has to tell amidst the beautiful graphics, Guerrilla Games did fantastic. Like that's one of their masterpieces of a game. And I hope they think that too, because that game was just, graphics were stunning, the storyline and the characters were stunning, and just everything about the game, like it being an open world, it being a place where you can, you know, what intrigued me the most, I think, about this game though, was the fact that the arrowheads for your arrows also doubled as currency.
Yeah.
And so that's not something I've seen in a game before. So at first I didn't really like it, just because, you know, I had to get a lot of it just to make arrows, and I had to get a lot of it just to buy things. But in the end, technically, that's one of the things I think I like the most about the game, is because I've not seen a game where not only does the currency, not as only is it currency, but it's also, it can be used as a weapon. And so I think that that's one of the unique features about it. But in total, just everything about the game is incredible. And I could talk for hours about this game and just every nuance.
There's nothing wrong with that. I know this is
I am done talking about it, but it's a great game. It's my number one for a reason. Oh, and the soundtrack, I could listen to that all day. There's so many good covers of the main theme or Aloy's theme. There's a particular one on YouTube that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember who it's by, but it's this guy that does it on electric guitar. And just the sound of it in general, like switching it up using an electric guitar, using even just a regular cello or a violin, or, you know, switching up the music, it all sounds unique to the game itself, and it gives it a new dynamic. And I love this game, bro. It's so good. I'm so excited for Forbidden West. Can't even imagine how it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's one of the mini games on PS5 I'm actually looking forward to. I haven't even started Miles Morales shit. It's still sitting here in the case wrapped up. I haven't even started it yet. I've been so busy with work and a teenage daughter. Might help me. I haven't even started Miles Morales, and I really want to go back and play. And another beautiful game that I thought was nice from Sony was God of War. That was another game that I really enjoyed playing. Haven't finished that yet either. But yeah. So those are your top 5.
Yes, let's hear yours.
Ah, shit. Okay. There we go.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Number 1. I mean, I'm gonna start from 5 and work my way up.
Sounds good.
5. I'm okay. People that know me personally know that I'm a huge fighting game fan, among other things. So my number 5 is Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Okay.
And I say that because to me, that was that game that had us all lined up at the local arcade in downtown Dallas called the Tilt. And they had like little swiping cards. And I would spend $20 to $30 a day playing Marvel vs. Capcom against other people, because it was just different. It was like, oh man, this is like, we got Street Fighter versus X-Men at first. We had Marvel superheroes. We had Street Fighter, yeah, but to take Marvel and Capcom together and put them together in one fighting game with 2D graphics, that point in time, that was awesome. It's like, hell yeah. You know, and then it went a step further when it came for console, and that was one of the reasons why I bought a Dreamcast. Understood that to my age again.
There you go.
What y'all kids don't understand, back in my day. Right.
We had a Dreamcast, and it was the top line of consoles.
Right. Back in my day, we blowing our cartridges like this and make sure it working in Nintendo.
Yep.
But anyway, but no, I got a Dreamcast just for Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. Then, of course, there was like another game called Power Stone and some other games that came out for it over time. Of course, not the Hedgehog, but fuck that. I'm here to play Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. That's why I wanted my Dreamcast for. And then, of course, when they re-released it for online play for the 360, for the 360 arcade, it made it even better, because now I'm playing against people, because not to toot my own horn, but I felt back then, and kind of do now that I can hold my own in MVC.
Mhm.
Back then, I'm playing against people who were like overseas, and like I can hear this guy on my end talking Korean. He ain't American, you know. This guy, you know, probably no. I'm not trying to ignorant, but he probably know the guy who made the goddamn game. For all I know, because you know, then he'll say all he understand from is good game. I mean, that's you know, and I would get my ass kicked a lot, but I gave a lot of ass kickings as well too. So I just really enjoyed playing that fighting game, especially online, because you're playing against people across the world, which is like the equivalent to playing at the arcade room with strangers you don't even know side by side, having a good time, you know, playing a good fighting game. That's my number 5.
Okay.
My number 4, sorry, is actually same genre, and that is called Capcom versus SNK.
Okay.
That was my favorite because once again, I like fighting games and I love Capcom fighting games already, but I was also into SNK fighting games like Samurai Showdown and Fatal Fury in the Art of Fighting and King of Fighters. So when they put all those genres together against Capcom, I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And you know, it was this, and unfortunately, they haven't even we haven't heard anything about that game anymore. Like they talked about more about Marvel versus Capcom 2 more than anything as of late because Michael B. Jordan made a comment saying he wished Sony would put it online for PS5 and PS4. So there's been rumors that they're going to re-release it for the as a Sony exclusive arcade or
Nice.
whatever. But Capcom versus SNK 2 was kind of like it was like a one-off, and of course it was at the arcades, but I only played it on the Xbox. It was on the first Xbox, and that's when Xbox Live, like that was one of the first fighting games on the old Xbox that was online. That was one of the first fighting. Like, of course, they had Halo online already. Shout out to Lakini, Lycus, Easy. Shout out, 'cause I know you love your Halo, but Halo was already established as that online first person shooter with Halo 2, but SNK versus Capcom. I mean, Capcom versus SNK was like the first fighting game that launched their whole fighting game, you know, thing on the old Xbox. Of course, they had Dead or Alive, which was just okay, but yeah, I really enjoyed playing that game as well too on the old Xbox. That brings me to my number 3, Resident Evil 2. And I don't care. Don't get me wrong, the reimagined version I'm playing right now is beautiful. I think they really did a good job. Um, I don't have any problem with it. And I'm saying this because Resident Evil 2 was actually that. I got some on lip.
No, I have something on my lip, which is why I was like, get it off.
But
Continue.
Resident Evil 2 holds a special place in my heart because Resident Evil 2 was the very first PlayStation game I ever got.
All right.
So I got my first PS, got it from Funko Land. See what I'm saying? Old. Uh got it from Funko Land. And I got Resident Evil 2, Alien Trilogy. And by the way, that new Aliens looks awesome. The Aliens Marines that's coming out. But it was Alien Trilogy, Resident Evil 2, and Battle Arena to Shinden. Like one of my first games I ever got. And I just remember playing Resident Evil 2 and being scared shitless.
Yep.
And it was like, oh shit, it's a dog gonna crash the window. And it like back in that time the graphics were awesome because it was new. It was like the first of its kind. You look at Resident Evil 2 on a PS1, I was like, God damn, what were we playing? It's like, you know, it was like everything.
How
was
did
like
we see what anything was going on?
like in blocks. Like it said it was a Magnum handgun, but look, it's just a fucking block about that big. It's like
you look at it and you look at it now compared to like the PS5,
Right.
especially there, it's just no comparison. Like this one
Exactly.
and this one, there's a huge
Exactly.
difference. But back then, we were looking at the PS1 thinking it was a PS5 kind of
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And my God, yes.
thing.
But yeah, it was a game of his time. That was my first one of my first PS1 games, and I just enjoyed every minute playing it. And I really enjoyed. I'm enjoying revisiting Raccoon City, playing the reimagined version of it. More of a storyline. It's more of a story actually this time,
Mhm.
especially with the damn it, forgot his name. Oh, the main one of the scientists, one of the protagonists of the game. I mean, one of the antagonists of the game. I forget his name already. See, old age. Don't get old, kids. But yeah, I actually enjoyed playing Resident Evil back in the day. That was my favorite games. I really enjoyed it. Now, I'm have not played the recent one though. I have it for free though. Thank you,
Nice.
PlayStation. I have it for free, and I'm gonna play it eventually because I do want to play before the new one comes before Village comes out.
Yeah.
Or as a lot of nerds are calling it, big titties, because of the lady that's on the game. Yeah,
Big Mama Big Titty is what her
yeah,
name
exactly,
is.
exactly. She's like, no. Have you seen like they had like a chart of how tall she is compared to everybody else from Resident Evil? Like she's the tallest one. She's taller than Tyrant. Like she's taller than William Birkin. She's taller than Dr. William Birkin. She's taller
Let's
than Mr. X and Nemesis himself. She is
let's
9 feet tall. What the hell, man?
let's just say that I'd let her step on me all she wants.
And that's what everybody wants. And the sad part about it is when they first unveiled Lady Dimitrescu, everybody with an OnlyFans account who was a model decided they're gonna dress up as Lady Dimitrescu and get that extra money. Because that's exactly what nerds like myself will pay for, is to see that kind of shit. Like, baby, you can step with me all day. You goddamn. You know what I'm saying?
I just pause it and just stare at her, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's
like,
like
can I just be the person she's stepping on? Like,
and every time and it was funny because every time I see her on Twitter, when they post something, I just with that one gif of Daddy McBride from Tropic Thunder, big ass titties. You know,
yeah.
that's
Yup.
exactly what I post because that's the only thing that we notice, like them claws and them big ass titties. But but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the new Resident Evil though. I'm really curious to see where they're going with this because I know that they showed Chris Redfield actually being the villain. So I'm like, okay, so what's wrong with him now all of a sudden? So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this now.
That's
I
interesting.
actually I just pre-ordered that. It was another game I pre-ordered recently that was supposed to come out this month, no April, called Guilty Gear, and that's like a anime style 2D fighting game that was really popular. That's actually what got me. That was like one of my favorite games to play on the PS2 was Guilty
Mhm.
Gear or PS3. No, PS3 was Guilty Gear, and you never really heard from it again. They had sequels come out, but it wasn't as popular. I was kind of like kind of being underwhelmed, overlooked because of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all that kind of stuff. But now they're coming back in full force with this new Guilty Gear title, so I'm kind of curious about that now.
Yeah.
But that was my number. My number. Okay, my number three now.
Number two, buddy. What's your number two?
I got number two. My number two. Shit, was it number two? Hold on. Marvel's Capcom. Let's give us Capcom. Oh, you're right. I'm number two. I can't. How can I put this? And I don't know I'm wrong for saying this, but it's a toss up.
Okay. Between what games?
It's a toss up between Gears of War
Okay.
and Halo.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
I
mean
can
that
see
as
that
and I
struggle.
can see that as a whole because I actually enjoyed all the Halos, but then I also enjoyed Gears. How can I I say that because I enjoy Halo's story better than Gears of War to a certain degree. Then I flip it and I enjoy Halo Online more than I enjoy Gears of War or something. But it's like a revolving door. I can't stick to just one,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like either or. So I can't now. I will admit that as of late, I haven't touched not neither one of them because I've been trying to just. I've been playing Call of Duty and been playing a lot of single player games. But Gears of War was actually one of those games that got me hyped for the Xbox 360 because it was something that was very different. What caught my attention about Gears of War was when they used Mad World from Donnie Darko. And they showed Marcus running through a rainy alley with all the locusts behind him, and he jumps through a window thinking he's safe. And this just gigantic corpse or spider-like creature just comes out of the darkness, and you just like, this guy is fucked. And he just starts shooting like this, and it's like, yes, I want to do that. So Gears of War was one of those games that got me hyped, and I still play. I actually have one. It's faded now as fuck, but this is actually the cog symbol. You can't barely see it really, but it's there. But this is actually a Gears of War shirt that I have on. It's just one of my pajama shirts now.
Nice.
But this shirt is literally like 4 years old now, so it's just faded away with time.
And here I just have my jacket on.
I see that. Is that a efficient jacket?
No.
Yes.
It's Overwatch. So
Overwatch.
it has Soldier 76 on the back.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a reason why Overwatch isn't in my top 5, but I have a lot of Overwatch merch.
Okay.
Mainly just because of the toxicity in Overwatch.
Okay.
It's kind of heavy, and it's honestly, I enjoy the game. Trust me, I have over 1,600 hours on the game, but the toxicity just kind of brings the game down quite a bit. People getting overly toxic on public servers and just, putting people down. It's, I tend to just mute the chat or don't even pay attention to it just because I'm just there to have fun. And so that's one of the reasons why it's not in my top 5. Maybe my top 10, but it's not in my top 5 just because the toxicity is just over the top. It's almost, I'm going to say almost as bad as League of Legends, but League of Legends is worse. So.
Okay. One more. I've got one more.
Yes, you do. And I want to hear
I'm saying that because he's my favorite superhero as a kid, and I enjoyed the trilogy. And that would be Batman, the Arkham trilogy.
Oh, there you go.
Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight. I loved all 3 of them. Everybody has their own opinion about them, which is fine. Arkham Knight sucked. And kind of sort of wasn't the best. I just think they threw the car in there just so you could use the damn car. But I'm looking forward to Arkham Knight. Gotham Knights. But should they push it back? Literally, when I went to go pre-order my recent game, the pre-order Resident Evil, I was like, yeah, y'all have Gotham Knights on pre-order. Yeah, they pushed it back a whole year. We don't know when it's coming out. I'm like, oh shit. So I was like, whatever. But yeah, the Arkham series, Batman was my favorite because I grew up watching Batman. I grew up with Tim Colony, because I'm saying it wrong, his last name. I grew up with him voicing Batman. That was, to me, I don't care how small that guy is in real life. That's Batman, goddammit. That was the Batman voice. So for them to bring him back, as well as Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, Joker, whatever you want to call him, to play Joker, I just thought that was so cool. And I really enjoyed playing. I've lost count on how many hours I put into Arkham Asylum. Arkham City. I've lost so many hours of just trying to go back and find riddle puzzles and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm still doing the same thing with Arkham Knight. I'm doing the same exact thing. Just trying to go back and find stuff.
Yep.
But it is one of my favorite games. One of my favorite trilogies of games. And it holds a key to my heart because I love Batman. So yeah, that was my top 5.
Oh,
Those are my
very
top
nice.
5.
Those are some good ones. Those are some good ones. I remember
So,
those. I remember
so
those.
now we got like maybe 5 more minutes left on this.
Okay.
And now, are you into anime as well?
Oh, let me tell you. I
Okay.
spent I spent most of my preteen, teenage, and young adult years watching and buying lots and lots of anime merch. So
If you had to,
yes,
if you had to choose one anime that you could only watch, that you had to watch every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
that's a good question. Um, honestly, right now, I would have to. There's this anime. I don't know if anyone knows about it, but it's such an obscure anime. But gosh dang it, it was really good. Um, it was called was it Durarara? It had the story of about 4 or 5 different characters, and it kind of like switched between the 5 different characters.
Mm,
But it followed the story of like two teenage boys, a scientist and his girlfriend, and then this crazy like broker guy that was kind of all over the top. But the
mm,
series was good because one, the animation style was it to me it was breathtaking because it was different. And then two, I'd never seen an anime that just like here's one character story and now here's another one and now here's
mm.
another one. Like I'd not seen one like that before. And so it was really intriguing to me. If I had to watch any anime for the rest of my life, it would definitely be that one.
Nice.
If you
And
haven't watched it, you should.
how many episodes do they have?
I believe it has 52, I believe. It's like one of those animes that you know, generally animes tend to go from having about 26 to 50 episodes
Yeah.
depending on the show and if they have a second. But
Hmm.
this one I think had 52. I haven't watched it in a while, but it had about 52 episodes, and
Mm,
gosh darn it, all of them were so good. Like it made me want to keep watching it because I wanted to know everyone's
mm.
storyline, how everyone turned out, like what happened to them.
Okay.
So it was interesting. It just kept you on your toes. So it was a good show, and if you haven't watched it yet, I highly, highly recommend it. It's really
Okay. I'm out there. You get please send me that in our chat on Instagram so I won't forget because I will
oh,
probably forget. I'm that
oh yeah,
stupid.
I will for sure.
Um well once again, so I started my first taste of anime was actually Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
Okay.
And that was my first taste of anime because they actually advertised the commercial on MTV because it
Mhm.
had corn on the soundtrack of it, along with Silverchair and a few other alternative rock bands in the 90s.
Mhm.
And so that's what got me into anime was Street Fighter. So I remember picking up that VHS tape. I
Yeah.
remember picking up that. I remember,
Yeah,
I
you know
remember,
it.
I remember picking up that VHS tape of the local Sam Goody, and the guy was like, "Oh man, this is badass. Have you checked out Ghost in the Shell?" And I was like, "What's Ghost in the Shell?" And I had to watch Ghost in the Shell. Like, this is sick. And I'm like, what else you got to recommend to me? Did I watch The Cure? I said, okay, you know what? I like this shit. I'm gonna start watching this shit. And that's what got me into anime. So Street Fighter was my beginning, followed by Ghost in the Shell, then Akira. Then just everything just falls into place. But if I had to choose one anime to watch the rest of my life, it would have to be Helsing Ultimate
Oh
or
boy.
Helsing OVA. Those 10
So
episodes,
good.
those 10 episodes of Helsing, oh my God, that is like
Gold.
10 hours of heaven. I don't care
Yes.
what nobody says. It's like, dude, this shit is awesome.
Yes. That was
That it was
I love that
bloody.
show.
It had a good story. the Nazi major was batshit crazy robot, but I mean, it was good. It was really really good.
Oh, I have to show you, my dude. Back in the day I used to cosplay, and I cosplayed Integra.
And Tara Fairbrook Wingate's Helsing.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, my cosplay was like on point because of these.
You have to send me that. You have to send me that.
I will
Seriously.
send you that picture because no doubt that was my best cosplay I ever did.
Really?
Was of Integra.
Okay. Everybody want to dress like Alucard. If you go do a cosplay, you gotta see more people dress like Alucard or Ceres than anybody. But if you say you just like Integra, that's saying something. Now, if there wasn't really any character, like I like all the characters on Helsing. Actually, I can't say that wasn't one I didn't like. Now, what I thought was funny as shit though was when Ceres fought the lone wolf. He had a long ass gun. He was shooting like this and shit on the top, like that long ass barrel. He was busting her like, because like it's this long ass barrel, and you can't really run from it. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was like a cool scene. And but I think the scene that got me so hyped up, Helsing, it's a lot of scenes that got me hyped up, but I think my top two scenes that got me hyped up is when Ceres finally found her power.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that song playing in the background, and she was getting pissed off. I was like, dude, you couldn't tell me nothing. That whole moment of Ceres getting pissed off, and you can see like the power of her back, like coming off of her flesh, like that spirit is rising up. I said, "Oh, this shit's gonna go down, bro."
Yo, someone about to die.
Right, and she drove her ass across that wall. Like, that wasn't shit.
Oh man, that was a good show. Good show.
That's my number one. My number two was actually when Alucard became Dracula towards the end, and he like unleashed all his power. They were like, say it. The bird of Hermes is my name. I eat my wings to keep me tamed. Opens unrestricted power, yada yada yada. And like the casket opens up and his whole kingdom comes out. And even like the archbishop was like naming everybody. He was like, that's him from the crusade, and oh my god, he's Dracula. And it's like, yeah, he's Dracula. And it's like when they show him, he's like Alucard. He doesn't have the red coat and the hat on anymore. He has like black armor with the sword, you know what I'm saying, and with the gun in one hand. That shit was clean. That's actually one of my screensavers on my game console.
Yo. Okay.
And
I have one more question before we have to wrap this up.
Okay.
I know you probably said this before, but what was the hello
Raven,
can you hear me? Hello?
There we go. What
else? Okay, sorry. The question was, I know you probably said this before, but just to kind of finalize it, what was the very, very first anime that got you into anime in general?
Street Fighter 2.
Okay, Street Fighter 2. So now,
I would say I'll say Street Fighter 2 because of just the advertisement of the
reminding
movie.
Myself, yeah,
right, because that's what it was. I wouldn't even have known about anime in general. I mean, I probably would have eventually found out, but just being the age that I was back then, when all my friends are still watching Ninja Turtles, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna watch this other shit called Street Fighter, like the video game that's on Super Nintendo. That's what got me, because I'm playing Super Nintendo Street Fighter, and they made a movie out of it. And kind of find out this isn't an American cartoon, this is anime. And that was like what started me. But so you were to ask my top 5 anime, Street Fighter 2, Ghost in the Shell are on that list, because those were like the first two that got me. And I don't mean the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex shit. I mean the actual real Ghost in the Shell that came out like in 92.
The good stuff, you mean?
The good stuff. Yeah, where there was blood and guts and spitting ass. I mean, it was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the animes, and I'm going to call it what it is, hentai, took things a little bit too drastically, like, okay, so it's tentacle dick, okay, cool. So.
Yeah. I'd have to say the one that got me into it is so I have this friend back when I was living when I was probably about 14 or 15 maybe. I had this friend that I used to go and visit all the time, and she would, when she invited me, she would bring me downstairs, and she and I would watch anime together. The very first anime that I ever got introduced to and that I ever started watching was Inuyasha.
Really?
And whenever I told my mom about it, she was like, heck no, it has a lot of swearing. You're not watching that. That's not happening. But
Inuyasha was good. I actually enjoyed watching that show.
yeah, I mean, it's an older anime. I think it turns like what, 20, 30 today, this year. But back at that time period, that stuff was like, to me, the fact that he was half demon, half human was really cool. Yep. It was the first anime that I ever saw that I'm just like, I need to watch more of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so whenever I went over to her house, I would always ask her, can we watch more Inuyasha? Can we watch more Inuyasha? I need to watch more. And so, and then I figured out, she's like, oh, well, you can, but you can't always just come over here and just watch that. Like, I can give you a station, a TV station that, you know,
Cartoon Network,
that'll broadcast it. And she's like, okay, so here, this is what it's called. It's Cartoon Network, and it's Adult Swim. It'll play at night, Adult Swim. Yep. I'm like, great. Yep. My mom's never gonna let me watch it now because it's at night.
Tonight, you're right.
Because I have to go to bed and I have to go to work. I mean, school. School was in the morning, so I never got to stay up to watch it. But little did my mom know that sometimes when my parents were asleep, I would sneak up. And I would go flip on the TV and I'd turn on Inuyasha and I'd watch Inuyasha.
And see, I remember back then it was Inuyasha and Trigun, Vaster Stampede. Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember that. It was a good show. Vaster Stampede was Inuyasha. It was Inuyasha, Trigun. It was one more show because they all came back to back. Cowboy Bebop. There you go. No, yeah, it was Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star.
Yeah,
and
Outlaw Star too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was those 4 shows that came on back to back at night. And my grandmother was a custodian, and she raised me, so I would have to go to work with her at night to clean buildings. Fresh out of school, I could really go from school to her car to work. So I wouldn't get home until 9, almost midnight, damn near. I should be up doing my homework, and God knows I didn't. And I would turn on the TV because we just get home in time to watch that shit. And it's like, you got homework? No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
You ain't got no homework? No.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that lineup. And then Toonami did their thing in the afternoon too. So that's how I got into Dragon Ball Z with Toonami. And of course, oh my God, Dragon Ball Z had like the longest drag outs. That's one thing I hated about it. I loved it. And maybe rest in peace, by the way. The guy that played Goku died this year.
Oh no.
Yeah, the guy who voiced Goku passed away. I want to say a few months ago. At the beginning of the year, he passed away. But he played Goku on Dragon Ball, all the series. He was the American voice of Goku. But I really would drag it out. Like, well, Goku find his power. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Like, God damn it.
There's still Dragon Ball Z memes going around, trust me.
Yeah, it's like, then all of a sudden they come back on.
You know the episode where this is like the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, where Vegeta comes in and Vegeta's the bad guy. And Vegeta's with Nappa, and Goku's coming, to kick their butts.
Right.
And and as he's coming in to kick their butts, Nappa sees his power level. He's like, how is his power level this high? Vegeta, it's so high. And there's still memes of that going around. And And you know how I said Destiny 2 is one of my favorite video games in my top 5.
Right.
In Destiny 2, there is a Dragon Ball Z reference of the "it's over 9,000" meme.
Are you serious?
There's an emote where your character can put on a little scout thing and they'll act exactly like Nappa. And it's great. And I'm just like, they're just carrying this meme out as long as it can.
Right. Yeah, because every time I would see certain stupid things, it was like, especially with the Ginyu Force, like being the squad post up at the club, Ginyu Force style. Like everybody's like doing the whole Ginyu Force thing, or doing that shit. Yeah. And so I remember it was a BET Awards. Don't ask. It was a BET Awards, and Migos stood up together. The guy was got to fight with Joe Budden, and the way they stood up, they were like, "Ginyu Force, form up." All right. So yeah. So every time I see Migos, for some reason, I think Ginyu Force for some reason. But yeah, man, we had a good time. We had a good time tonight, you and I, Miss Raven, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it on up. This is our pilot episode, so everybody from our team with Efficient Gaming, if you're watching this, thank you for watching, and please tell us how we did when we post it on the YouTube channel or whatever. I'm definitely gonna post it on my channel, on my BlaqVillain page on YouTube. Raven, I know you're gonna post yours as well too.
Yep.
I'm gonna send Easy E a copy so he can post it on the YouTube channel. And guys, this is our first go around. If we need to improve something, let us know. Just because it's us two does not mean we're not going to be doing another show. This is actually our pilot. This is actually our first episode. Technically, we want to get our team together, and we want to have different guests every single time from our team, from outside the team. I've already been speaking to a young lady who has told me that she would do a podcast with us. She goes by the name Mistress Chief.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about her.
Yeah, she's a huge Halo fan. She has the armor and everything. She dresses up, cosplays, and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna have guests like that come on the show, and we want our team to come on the show as well too, and be our guests as well too. So once again, this is BlaqVillain,
and I'm Raven-esque.
And that will about do it for us. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a good one. Peace.
Later, guys.